So how often have you all seen an obese child at a fast food restaurant and you think to yourselves, like, they probably shouldn't be eating that, or their parents should probably give them healthier foods? I'm sure all of us have probably had this happen, because I can think of many instances where I've thought this to myself. Childhood obesity and poor eating habits are directly correlated to this issue. They're also related to the increase in type 2 diabetes among our children. The more people, especially children, are being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes today, and the disease progresses quicker in children and is harder to treat, according to the New York Times. Basically, America needs a wake-up call, and we need to understand and acknowledge the issues that we are forming for our children in today's society. I can recount several instances where I've seen this happen on my own basis. Going into the nursing profession, it is important to me that children are making smart, healthy decisions. We all play a role, being that we influenced or have influenced a child in our life, even if we don't have our own child of our own, that we all have come in contact with a child where we can influence them positively or negatively. Type 2 diabetes is associated with insulin resistance in the body, with its progression being greater in obese children, being that 30 to 40% of children in at least one area of the country has type 2 diabetes. There are two types of diabetes mellitus, type 1 and type 2. Used to be that type 2 was called childhood onset and type 2 is called adult onset. But with the increase in childhood obesity, type 2 diabetes is also being associated with children. From 1963 to 1970, 4.5% of children were overweight, and from 1999 to 2002, the number increased to 16%, according to the University of Washington at St. Louis. So in type 2 diabetes, the person produces insulin, but the body doesn't respond to it properly, according to Nemours Healthcare. Glucose is unable to enter the body to supply the energy that it needs, therefore causing an increase in blood sugar levels, ultimately diabetes. It is our job to educate and teach the children the proper diet and exercise, which improves the body's reaction to the insulin and to control their sugar levels. Most people who develop type 2 diabetes are obese, since the excess fat makes it difficult for the cells to get access to the insulin, since it opens up as like a door for the insulin to come in. According to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, approximately 17% of children and adolescents ages 2 to 19 have diabetes or are obese. Treatments are available, such as medications or insulin shots, or they can also should make lifestyle changes. Doctors recommend low salt and low fat diets, also decreasing their drinking water instead of drinking sodas or high sugar drinks will also help. And physical activities, make sure that if you have your own child, to participate in the physical activities with them. Encourage them to go outside, encourage them to go and play. If not, then there are multiple volunteer opportunities where you can interact with children in a positive way. According to the American Diabetes Association, the acronym STAR can be used, which stands for Stop, Think, Act, and React, or Stop, Think, Act, and Reflect. So stop and think before you make a decision, and think about the consequences that could happen with your actions, and reflect on how you are influencing that individual. The rates of children with type 2 diabetes is continuously increasing. However, many times we can't blame the children for this. We are only to blame ourselves. So we need to take responsibility and instill good habits in our youth to help decrease the numbers of type 2 diabetes in children.